Well, I want to thank you today for joining me. This is Miss Mara Glazer.
Yeah.
Perfect. And we're going to be discussing your brand new book.
Yeah. Hi, Emily. I'm so happy to be here. This is my brand new book. It's called The Membership Millionaire. It's a step-by-step playbook to creating monthly recurring revenue online by starting a membership program. And I wrote this book for a couple of reasons. One, I've promised my father, Bill Glazer, who was my greatest mentor, that I would carry on his legacy and teach others what he taught me about marketing, copywriting, membership programs. So I put a lot of that here in the book. And the second reason I wrote it is because I made another promise to my dad that I would continue to carry on the charity work that he's doing. So my father, unfortunately, suffered several strokes, and he was able to get connected to this really amazing therapist who helped him greatly and also started a program with the Veterans Affairs of Pittsburgh to help our U.S. veterans who've had a stroke get the same care my dad was able to get. And so $1 from every copy of the book sold goes to the charity, and that allows our U.S. veterans to get inside the program, and it pays for everything: their travel, their food, their care, their hotel. They don't have to pay for anything out of pocket. And so that's another reason I wrote the book, was to raise money for that really great organization.
Oh, I love that. That is just such a beautiful thing. How long have you been raising money for that organization so far? Is this a brand new thing, or have you helped a lot of people so far?
No, after my dad's first stroke, he was able to go back to work, and he started kind of like a retirement business. He'd already sold his business. So he decided that he would donate 100% of his profits to the charity. And I actually worked with him. So he hired me again to work with him. And so far, we've been able to put over 80 veterans through the program over about the last 3 to 4 years. And hopefully many, many more. So 80 people have been able to get there, get through the program. And it's a month-long program, which we think is pretty cool.
That is absolutely amazing, because you have this wonderful book. I mean, I've read your book. It's fantastic. It is written in a way that somebody who's experienced gets something out of it, and somebody who is completely inexperienced can follow along. And that is just such a beautiful gift to give someone, right? Like, no matter where you are on this path, you're going to get value out of the book itself. And then knowing that money is also going to help people who have gone through such a terrible thing where they don't know what the next step is for stroke recovery. Mm-hmm. And so hearing that and hearing how many men, 80 men or 80 men and women have gone through this program is just such a beautiful thing. So I absolutely love that. So seeing like you have such a huge impact on others, what impact are you hoping this book will have on the person who reads it?
Yeah. So my hope is that this book helps people who read it to create their own membership program, if that's something that they want to do, or that it gives them some really great strategies around copywriting, marketing, and marketing campaign creation if starting a membership program isn't what they want to do. Like, I've seen a membership business model change our family's life and change many other families' lives. Because of the money that my father was able to make because of his membership business model. It afforded him the opportunity for us to be able to provide round the clock care for him right now. And so to me, that's very impactful. Like, I know what having a membership business can do for somebody's life. I've also seen it in other ways. We've had students and members in our programs at my dad's company who were able to then put their kids in the best schools because of the membership businesses that they created and the marketing campaigns that we helped them to create. We've helped them be able to care for aging parents. And so for me, the information inside this book or other books like it, I believe are so important because it really can change somebody's life. But I know that not everybody wants to have a membership business. So it was really important to me to also make sure that anybody who read it, who does have a business, could find valuable information about marketing, copywriting, and campaign creation. My dad always said little hinges swing big doors. And what that always meant to me was like one little small idea can really create such a boom in your business. And my hope is that with the book, that if somebody who reads it doesn't even want to have a membership business, but they find that one little thing that helps them, that would make me so happy.
Oh, that's awesome. That's wonderful. So hearing you talk about this, it's like, I feel like you put it all on the line with the book itself, right? You're like, here's the whole blueprint. This is everything that you need. But if that's too much to do, or if that isn't what you feel called to do, you can take these little pieces and it'll help you, your business, it'll help you improve, it'll help the finances increase, it'll help you be able to have more impact on whatever organization you're looking for. But you can always go back to the book and then pull out more. And I love that. Little hinges open big doors. Is that the saying?
Little hinges swing big doors. Yeah.
Big doors. I love that. That's
I don't know if
fantastic.
he created that or someone else did, and he just brought that home with him, but it was something I heard him say a lot.
That's, I mean, and hearing him, I mean, he's, had a very successful career. He's looked up to in the marketing industry so much. To hear him say like a tiny little thing, like look for those little things to keep on improving, it lets everyone know that it doesn't matter how much experience you have, there's always something you can learn. There's always a little bit, that little thing can always make a big difference, which is, to me, it's very good to hear. It makes me very happy to know that I'm always have the ability to keep on growing, because I love growth, and I think you do too as well.
I do.
So I saw you had a couple other books right there. Do you have any books there that you would recommend that you haven't written, and like why you'd recommend it and to who you're recommending it to? So tell a little bit about that.
Yeah, I did. I brought a little couple props. So, so I am very biased, of course, but this book is one of my dad's books. It's called Outrageous Advertising That's Outrageously Successful. And what I love about this book is it gives you so many ideas for outrageous marketing campaigns that you can create to drive the growth of your business, no matter your niche and industry. And one of the really cool things about being my dad's daughter is that people stop me all the time and they're like, I followed that. I did that one campaign in your dad's book and I made all this money. So someone actually stopped me at the airport once and was like, I modeled a campaign from this book and I made $11 million. And I was like, that's pretty cool. So
That's awesome.
yeah. So this book's on Amazon. And then there's this other one. Hopefully we're allowed to say some choice words here. It's called Rich as Fuck.
I know that book. Yeah.
You know this book? Yeah. I love this book. This is Amanda Francis, who I've actually been to dinner with her a couple times. It's more of a money mindset book. And I really love it because it talks about creating your financial set point. And what that is like the energetics of how much money you're able to call into your life at any given time. And it was a really eye-opening book for me. So I really enjoy it. And I like to share that one because I don't think a lot of people in our world do share that one. And it's like a really, really good book. So
I love her. I've been following her for years. She's just really insightful, very good person. And she has like a faith to her, which I really appreciate that as well.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So yeah, those are the books that I brought to share.
I love both of them. And we should add in, I'm going to keep saying it through our conversation here, that we're going to have the link to buy your book listed below here. So everyone should get your book as well. So being that you've met so many different business owners, right? Is there something that you've noticed that like business owners should do in order to have success, and then something they should just stay away from, which will cause too many problems?
Yeah. Okay, cool. So when I first started working with my dad, I quote my dad a lot. So when I started working with him, one of the first lessons he taught me was the best and easiest way to make money is to ask your customers what they want and then give it to them. So the best and easiest way to make money is to ask your customers what they want and then give it to them. And this advice totally saved me. So I was working on a campaign to teach women how to flip houses. It was a coaching program to teach women how to flip homes. And I was creating the marketing. And so we had assumed, and I guess I should more so say, I had thought and I had assumed that the women who would buy this would want to create a 6 or 7 figure a year business flipping homes, because like what aspiring house flipper wouldn't want that? But luckily we took that advice and we surveyed the audience. And we asked them some questions about their deepest desires, their deepest fears, what they want, why they want it. And what we found is that they did not want that at all. They did not want to build a 6 or 7 figure year business flipping homes. What they really wanted to do was to make enough money every year to replace their income at their job, quit that job and then take the rest of the year off to do what they love with the people that they love. And those are two very different things. And if I had created the marketing campaign for that 6 or 7 figure aspiring household bird, that campaign would have flopped. But because we listened to the market and we created what they said they wanted and also marketed it to them in a way that spoke to them, it was a total success. So I strongly, strongly feel that doing a survey of your market before you create any offer and create the marketing is so important. And it all comes from that saying, the best and easiest way to make money is to ask your customers what they want and then give it to them. And it's so easy to do. Even if you don't have a list, you can find people that you know that you believe could be a great ideal client for whatever it is that you sell. And you can literally call them on the phone and ask them some questions. I also think that sales calls are a really great way to get this intel, because when you're on a sales call, you've got your like ideal prospect in most cases telling you their pain points, their struggles, their dreams, their desires, and their goals. And if you really pay attention to what they're saying, there's like a lot of really good intel inside of those conversations. So I like to tell my clients sometimes, even if you do have a sales team, like maybe get on the phone for one day and just like, get back to the sales calls for one day to get some really good intel. So that would be my answer to your question about my piece of business advice.
Yeah, and I want to thank you so much for saying that you don't have to have a list and you can just call people on the phone, because I was like stepping into like the different minds of different levels of business owner. I could just see the person being like, well, I want to switch industries, or this is new for me. Like, who am I supposed to call? And you knew exactly where to go and to explain that. And that was just like awesome. Like, I don't even need to ask the question. Like, she's already going right there, which is great.
Yeah. Actually, I'll tell you real quick another way that this has played out for me. I was going to launch a new offer a couple years ago.
Okay.
And so I created like a whole document with like everything I wanted to put in the offer. And I was like, I really need some eyes on this, but I didn't want to email it out to my list. I wasn't ready to do that.
Yeah.
So I emailed just like a handful of previous clients who I would have wanted to work with in that offer. And I was like, hey, can you do me a solid? Can you take a look at this and let me know what you think? And all of them told me that they didn't want it. And I was like, okay, cool. I just saved so much time. Like, thank you for being honest with me. And so like just a couple people can really get you on the right path or off of the wrong one. So yeah.
That's it's, I don't know. I'm wondering if it's like the kind of people that you're attracting, or if it's just the reality, because I feel like so many people try to just be nice when you're like saying like, hey, this is my offer, and they don't always give you like the valid, truthful response. So how do you get them to just be upfront with you? Like, how do you set that tone?
Yeah. So I asked them to be brutally honest and told them that they wouldn't hurt my feelings.
I love it. I love it. I feel like you have to say that, because like, there's so many good people and they mean well and they want to be so supportive, especially women in business. I see it more with women than with men. And they don't always tell you like, hey, this is a bad idea until you spend a lot of time. So just that, just asking to be brutally honest is definitely a huge thing.
Yeah.
So on the flip side of this, are there things that business owners do? Like you walk into a business and they're like, hey, help us make more money. And you're like, wow, you're doing this. This never works out. Or do you see those red flags pop up?
A lot of times. Yeah, I do. But for so many different reasons and in so many different ways.
Okay.
Like one of the most common ones I would say is seeing people trying to do too many things at one time.
Yes.
Or trying to start something new when what they already have going isn't fully created and developed and like really rocking yet. So another Bill Glazer quotable is, if you do too many things, you never do anything with excellence or success. And I've seen that to be true numerous times. And I had a mentor, his name is Trey Llewellyn. At one point I had an e-commerce store and I hired this man named Trey, who's a, e-commerce expert. And he would teach, you've got to build the bridge first before you build another bridge. So what that means is that you've got to, create this one offer, get it to sell really, really good, deliver on it really, really good, and get that working on a constant and consistent basis before you try to build out like a whole nother offer and build a whole nother bridge. And so, oftentimes, like, we're creative people. Like, I have ideas all the time of things I want to do or things I want to try, or like stuff totally not even related to the info marketing space. And a very good friend of mine introduced me to this idea of the idea parking lot. And so basically what it is, it's just like a piece of paper where you write your ideas as they come up so you don't lose them. But when you've created space in your life to implement them, you can just refer to your idea parking lot and be like, okay, those were my ideas. Like, let me pick what works for me right now, or what I want to do right now, or maybe I don't want to do any of those anymore. Right.
Yeah.
And so that, I think, is really one of the biggest common mistakes. But also another one is trying to launch an offer out there without having an audience is another big mistake that I see. And so I think not enough emphasis is put on audience building for new entrepreneurs. And it's so important. Now, it doesn't mean you can't get started if you don't have an audience, but it means that you need to be building your audience as you're getting started. And so, like, even in my book, I talk about that. I talk about how you really need to have an audience who loves you before you implement what's in the book. But you should still read the book now, because it'll help you create some really awesome campaigns to sell your offers now, even before you start a membership. But like, I see that too much. People get like shiny object offer syndrome. And I'm like, you don't even have an audience to sell that to yet. Like, let's work on creating that. So that would be probably the other kind of mistake I see.
Okay. So for the people who have they have the audience already and they want to start a membership site, what is like their first step? Is it reading that book, or is there should they reach out to you? What would be their first step, you think?
Yeah. So I believe the first step should be to read the book.
Yeah.
Because it is the playbook for how to start and launch a membership.
Mhm.
And it's less than $6 for the digital version. And again, you guys will put the link below, and then we'll donate $1 to the charity.
Yeah.
And then you'll see in the book that the first step is to do the survey, like I just talked about. So once you get the book and you understand the full game plan, which I would understand the full game plan before you dive in, is to follow step number 1, which is to survey your audience and find out from them what they would be willing to pay for in regards to what you create for a membership. So I give this example in the book. I was working with a content creator. His name is Stephan Speaks. He teaches Christian women how to manifest the man that God has for them. But his content on social media is for men and for women, and he loves helping everybody. So he loves helping men and women. And so when we first started working together, he said to me, I really want to create a membership for men and women. And I knew most of his audience was women. So when we surveyed the list, I found out what I knew to be true, which is like 99% of his audience is women. And then we specifically asked them what they would want the membership to be about. And they unanimously told us how to manifest the man God has for you. And we asked them if they would be willing to pay somewhere between $37 and $47 a month for a coaching program where he taught them to do that. And a resounding number of them said yes. And so we had the data, and then we had the intel to be able to move forward and feel confident in creating that offer. And had we not done that survey, it's possible we could have created a membership for men and for women. It wouldn't have been called Manifest the Man God Has For You. It would have been something else. And it probably would have had a potential to really be a flop. So that survey is really the first piece.
Yeah, I when I read that in your book, I was like, oh, that's a misconception there. When I saw, like, I forget the percentages, but it was just astounding how heavily it was women and not men. And it's fascinating because, I create content as well, and I had the reverse. I thought I had all these women following me, and then I realized I had all these men following me, and I'm like, That explains why some of my offers aren't working very well. Trying to the
Right. Yeah.
sisterhood, and I've got mainly men following me. So it was just a good lesson for me as well.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in 10 years from now? Always the fun question.
Oh my God. I would really love to be a mom.
Okay.
I'm a dog mom. I would also like to be a human mom, human mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before 10 years from now.
Yeah.
I really am I like won the parent lottery, and I would love to, be able to like also carry my mom's footsteps and be an amazing mom. Um,
Aw.
yeah, so that's where I see myself. And I also, like, I love business. And so like, I see myself with multiple different businesses that I enjoy doing. Like, so for example, earlier this year, I actually got my first Airbnb property.
Ooh,
And so I'm kind of,
congratulations.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's in Delray Beach. So, well, I'm in Florida too, as you are, but it's on the other side of Florida. And I'm like exploring that now, like trying to figure it out. And it's been really fun for me. So maybe also having more properties while I continue to do this work that is in my blood so much, which is copywriting, creating marketing campaigns, and also partnering with content creators on helping them to launch and scale their membership. So I see myself doing what I'm doing now with maybe like a family on my side, and also some really cool properties, and just living like a fun, adventurous life with travel and trips and all sorts of stuff like that.
Ooh, so I love Delray Beach. The whole reason we're down in Florida is my sister moved down to Delray Beach. I have many siblings. So one of my sisters moved to Delray Beach, and she was there, and I'm like, this place is amazing. And now she's up further north, but she's still on the East Coast. And I mean, Delray, it's like, we're gonna have to go out to your Airbnb. That's amazing. Like, that's such a great area.
Let's
Um,
go.
yeah,
We have a
I'm
party.
available. We can always work as long as it has internet. We're good to go.
We're good. Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you want to travel to? Like, what are the top few travel destinations?
Oh, okay. So I actually just got back I did 2 trips to Europe so far this year, and I would like to go back. So like the number one place I want to go right now is Switzerland.
Ooh,
Like I have a dream of the whole, like snowfall in the Christmas village with the outdoor hot tub type of vibe. I really want to go there. Plus a lot of like the train scenes I see on Instagram and TikTok are really beautiful in Switzerland. So Switzerland's top of my list.
okay.
I would also really one day like to go to China.
Yes.
When I worked in the fashion industry, I worked with a lot of factories over there from my office in New York.
Okay.
And oh, I didn't mention that. I used to work in the New York fashion industry a long time ago. And so I always wanted to go over there and do factory tours and just kind of see how all of that worked together.
Okay.
And so that's something that I'd really would like to do too. Um, and then probably like the third thing on my list, the third place I'd really would like to go right now, or the third, I would say even third thing I would really like to do right now. So when I lived in Los Angeles, I got super into hiking, and I've done some like pretty crazy like treks and adventurous hikes. And there's this thing called
Okay.
Everesting I want to do. So you don't
Okay.
actually climb Everest, but you climb a mountain the same number of distance that it would take to climb Everest without taking any sleep breaks or anything like that. And like, that sounds super
Ooh,
fun to me.
where do you do that? Is it
Um, a lot of people will do it at like a ski resort. So you can climb
okay?
up and then take the lift down, and then climb up and take the lift down. So I'd probably end up doing it somewhere in like Utah or something like that with a
Yeah.
group of people. I have like a group of friends who kind of want to get into that. So
So
yeah.
you probably have the All Trails app on your phone, and you go to all the fun trails and stuff like that.
I used to when I lived in LA, and then I moved here to Florida where we have no I hated it. Like the hiking here is the stair stepper at Crunch Fitness. So
Yeah, I ended up living in Charleston for a little bit, and I like mountain biking. And so I remember telling my friend, I'm like, it's pointless. There's nowhere to go. And she goes, this is the low country, but just because it's the low country and you're going like flat, she's like, you can still make it fun somehow. And so, go mountain biking over like a swamp with like a tiny little bridge and hope an alligator doesn't bite you. kind of fun and dangerous, not quite the same.
Same, but it
Not,
works.
not at all. Well, all your trips sound awesome. I love traveling. Corey and I, our big goal is to do a 180-day cruise. So they have these cruises. Yeah, you can totally get on a cruise ship and it'll do 180 days around the world. So if you have not checked one of those out, you should definitely do that. It's the hardest part is you're on it for 180 days. And if you've cruised before, you know, the Wi-Fi is not always perfect. Like sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. So it's a big risk to take
Yeah.
long off from work.
Yeah. But I feel like it's gotten better. I did a Virgin Voyages cruise this year.
Okay.
It was awesome. I don't think they do the 180-day ones. I think their longest one is like 45 days. But I
Ooh.
did a Zoom call on that cruise and it was better connection than at my house. Like, so
Okay.
I think the new boats, they got it going on and you guys would be fine.
It's just so fun. It's definitely fun.
Yeah.
All right. So if there's one thing you want people to know about you and why they should trust your book, and I know I'm throwing this out at you, but why are you the go-to girl? I mean, I know why, but what do you feel like radiates through you besides being absolutely amazing and knowledgeable and having done this a lot? Like what is it about you that's going to guide them through making a membership site or making their business more profitable?
Yeah. So one I think is the track record that I have with building and scaling memberships. You know, we grew my father's membership to over 11,000 members,
That's
paying
huge.
between $39 and $59 a month. And then we had thousands of other members paying $197 a month up. And then I've been able to replicate that success with other influencers. So like Stephan Speaks, for example, in his 2-week launch period, we welcomed in 1,437 new members. It equated to $58,000 a month in recurring revenue. Kim Velez, another content creator I've worked with, 522 new members in her first 2 weeks, equated to $30,000 a month in recurring revenue. So just my track record of that. Also, I feel like one kind of like hidden little talent I have is being
Okay.
able to break things down in like a very step-by-step order. I very much so struggled in school when I was growing up. Like I was not the book smarts girl. I was always like the street smarts girl.
Okay.
And so because of that, I really had to teach myself new ways to learn and how to make things easier for myself. And my hope is that I did that in the book and made it very step by step and broke it down into steps that would make it easy for people to do. And then also I really tried to infuse my voice into the book and make it half like fun, but also half like kind of cut the crap and here's what works. And actually one of my clients messaged me on Instagram, Facebook yesterday, and was like, I just finished reading your book and I could hear you saying every word. It was like you were reading it to me. And so my hope is that it's enjoyable for people to read, so much so that they'll love reading it and feel compelled to move forward with either the whole plan in the book or just even something like I was sharing before, little hinges swing big doors.
Well, I can definitely tell you did accomplish that in the book because when I was reading it, because some of the books, you know, I know I do marketing, but I'm not a marketer like you and Corey and like the other people. I'm more a content creator. And so reading it, I'm like, I feel like I could actually do this. Like it was small, manageable steps, always with proof, always with a story, which is huge. Like I learned through stories. So like hearing the stories was like, I got it. I understand. Like this is why it works. This is why it doesn't work. And it was just so comforting to read in a way. Like it was the information in a supportive manner would be the best way to explain it. Like I felt your voice, I felt your support through it. Like you believe in everyone and you're like, you can do this too. Like that's what I got out of it.
Oh, thank
like the
you.
cheerleader with it too. It was awesome. Yeah, I loved it.
Thank you. That makes me feel really, really good. I appreciate you saying that. And you reminded me of something else I didn't share. So I actually have a lot of examples in the book too, like copy examples, so that when I do teach something, you can actually see how it played out in real life with a different membership that we worked on. So my hope is that allows for people to really be able to see how they could implement it for themselves by modeling those examples too. So yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Oh, you're welcome. No, the examples are what did it for me. I was like, this is great. Like hearing the stories and hearing how you surveyed and it was really, really good. And it's been a long time since I've heard Corey like sit down, well, seen Corey sit down and read a book in one sitting. Like he read your entire book in one day and he's just like, this is amazing stuff. And it was just really beautiful to see him be so interested with his level of experience. And then me on the other end being like, oh my gosh, this is amazing too.
No, thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. So are you planning on doing more books or what is the next step? Because now you're making me think of more questions here. There's so much we can dive into, but
Yeah,
would you write another one?
I don't know. You know, I never had a big dream of writing a book until one day I was like, I want to write a book. So, because you know, some people like it's their thing. They're like, just want to do that so bad. That was never really my thing. I like to be behind the scenes. I like am totally happy not being known in any regard. I like to like pull the strings behind the scenes, make the campaigns, watch them convert. That makes me really happy. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll write another book or not. To be determined.
Perfect. Just leave it open. I love that it's left open there. So if people want to find out more about you, but you prefer to be behind the scenes, what is a way that they could learn a little bit more about you or the campaigns that you've done?
Yeah. So you could always find me online at maraglazer.com, or directresponsecopygirl.com. But I think probably the best place to start would be to go to the page for the membership Millionaire. I know you guys are going to drop a link under this video, and pick up the book. Like I said, you'll learn a ton about memberships, but you learn a ton about copywriting, marketing, and other business lessons. And it's under $6. If you implement at least one thing in this book, you'll make way more than $6. That I know for sure. And so I really think that now that I have this book, it's like a really great place to start. So I would start there.
All right. I love it. So you'll put the link up for you. I really appreciate you spending time with me today. I hope everyone rushes out and gets the book. Trust me, it's amazing, guys. You will love it. It's easy to read. It's very informational. And like I said, you've got like a cheerleader supporting you in the book somehow. I don't know how you made your voice do it, but you did it. So thank you. And I hope to talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me and allowing me to share about it. It really means a lot to me. And I hope to talk to you soon too. Bye for now.